Down whether or not people actually agree with these cuts and these fare increases, because they didn't ask us, so it's time that we let them know.
Arriving at Bathurst.
So if you hear somebody say mic check when you're on a streetcar, just repeat what they say, and the facilitator will let you know how we can have the conversation together. Okay?
Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
Mic check!
This is Occupy Toronto!
This is Occupy Toronto!
We are concerned about the recent budget. Specifically, the cuts to the transit. We feel that we need more public transit. So we decided to come and ask people what they think. If you agree with what's being said, you can do this. If you disagree with what's being said, you can do this. If you want to clarify something that is being said, you can do this. Does anybody have any specific concerns or reasons why they think we need more public transit?
The environment. Equality. Sustainability.
I think that we already pay quite enough for our service. It is ours. We pay in our taxes. We pay in our fares. They said they weren't going to cut anything. They said there was lots of gravy. I believe them. There seems to be lots of money. It doesn't seem to be going in transit. I think this sucks. I don't think that they should be allowed to cut our services anymore. I think we should tell them clearly that we're not for that. And I think that we should start using the mic check on our way home, or on our way to work, or to school, and have somebody take notes and get consensus from other people riding the service.
Anybody else who feels concerned about the budget cuts?
I believe that for the largest city in Canada, this transit system sucks. Shit. We have no transit. To the airport. Poor people take the transit because they cannot afford automobiles. They are going to raise our fare by 10 cents. That's $3.10. In a few years, it will be $4.
I think we should all go to City Hall and demand if we face a fare increase, we get service increases.
Point of information. On December 7th and 8th, anybody can go to City Hall and register their name to speak to the councillors, give a deputation, and explain why they think
and explain why they think
this budget
is a lie.
Point of clarification. I just wrote down the car number that we're on and the time that it is. I will take minutes for any decisions that we all twinkle to. And I'll post it online on the OccupyTTC Facebook page. We also have a Twitter account. Mic check.
If this seems unusual, we are doing this because we believe in freedom and democracy. And we need to take our democracy back.
Oh, great.
Mic check. I was inspired when I saw that these cuts were coming, along with these fare increases, by the transit union in LA. They actually managed in such a car-dominated city to get the transit riders and the bus drivers working together because we've been falsely pitted against each other, and there's been anger growing because their jobs are being cut, and we're squished more together on the way to our jobs, and nobody's listening to either of us. They got so powerful that between the two groups, they had a fare strike. So forget about paying more for less. They said we're not going to pay anything at all until you give us what we need. What we're using is called the people's mic. To participate, you simply repeat what you hear. This way, we can all echo each other and make our voices louder.
So I would say
Part 5870 is against fare increases and service decreases. Please twinkle if you agree with this.
to share the message that it's okay to talk on the TTC and that we can decide because we paid for the TTC with our tax dollars how it will be used. This is a message from Occupy Toronto asking everybody to join us because we're not some scary group in a park. We are just a bunch of concerned citizens who want to re-engage our civil dialogue.
okay, I would like
To get some clarification, I have noted that we had general consensus that we are against a fare hike and service decreases. Just to be clear, do we have anybody on this car who is against that proposal? You can block by forming a cross with your arms. Okay? Do we have a block? No blocks. So we just passed our first proposal with consensus. My next proposal, because it seems that Occupy is growing, that instead of calling this part of Occupy Toronto, we declare This the christening. Or sorry for that term. Or sorry for that term. This the start. This is the start of OccupyTTC. Of OccupyTTC. So everybody on this car, please share with your fellow riders, and your friends, and your co-workers, that OccupyTTC has started. Mic check. First, I'd like to say thank you to the TTC employees, to the security guards, because we are all affected by these budget cuts. Their jobs, and it's our transit. And we have to start supporting each other. Because the city and the media have been trying to pit us against each other.
Check.
Mic check.
This is an announcement from OccupyTTC. We are trying to engage everybody in the conversation of how our tax dollars get spent. You may know that at City Hall right now, they're debating a budget to increase our fares. I don't think that this is fair. That's why I'm coming out to the TTC to ask you what you think. The premise for the conversation is that it is respectful and that we do not use any oppressive language or any phobic or isms language. Is there anybody who has something to say about the way that transit is going? Or the general budget proposal?
Mic check. I would like to say that while Ford said that there was lots of gravy, and we wouldn't have to have cuts, he then goes and says, or the TTC says, that we need to have a fare increase while we get service decreases. I think that, like Misha says, this is extremely unfair. It's extremely disrespectful. And it's lying. There seems to be lots of money. And they just don't put it in transit. Okay. I'm going to report the car 5913 supports the workers and the riders standing together.
Mic check.
I'd like to wish everyone a great day.
I would like to wish everyone a great day.
Period. Alright, done that.
I would just like to say,
One of the reasons we are doing this on this train is because I am not a drug addict. And I spent 40 days in that park. And if I was a bum, I wouldn't care about any of you people. But I do.
I am here because as a person with a disability, I am unable to drive. But I feel that I am important to this city. And therefore I need to get around using the TTC. I am not a second-class citizen because I can't drive. Thank you. Woo!
I have a proposal. That car 5913 At 3:51.
At 3:51.
Come to consensus. That these cuts. To our disability services. On the TTC. Are not fair. And we do not think. Our council should endorse this. Is there anybody who has problems with this statement or disagrees?
I would like to ask,
what is being put in place? Is the vehicle tax being reintroduced to cover the cost?
They are proposing to cut dialysis, wheel-trans, for patients who need to get to the hospital.
And there is no proposal to re-put back the vehicle registration tax. That was $60 per rider or per driver. Instead, they propose to increase our fares by 10 cents each. The proposal is as follows.
That car 5913 at 354 thinks that the councillors at City Hall should not cut service to the TTC. Do we have consensus?
Twinkle in the air if you agree.
I think with the number of stand asides that we have consensus.
Transit is a right. And it's not about taxpayers. It's about citizens. It's about residents. It's about people. Workers. Security guards. Riders. We're all being affected by these cuts. They keep saying there's no money. Well, guess what? CIBC paid several million more. Something in the tune of $3 billion. In profit this year. We need some of that money reinvested in our city. We can't afford as workers, as riders, as security guards, as everybody to face these cuts anymore.
Arriving at
Okay, I mean, we know what we need. Okay, I obviously
Mic check! It seems that some of the security guards or TTC think that initiating conversation is a disturbance. I would like to quickly ask the people on this platform if they think having a conversation is a disturbance. If you don't think it's a disturbance, please raise your hands and twinkle.
If you don't think it's a disturbance, please raise your hands and twinkle. Thank you very much.
We're the most terrifying group of people ever. You guys stop smiling. This is serious. Stop serious. Stop being friendly and approachable.
Mic check. Hello. Young subway station. What I'm doing is called the People's Mic. It's from the Occupy movement. What we do is call mic check. And repeat after each other. So we can have a conversation. So I ask everybody on both sides of the platform. Let's try to have a little conversation.
Thank you so much.
Mic check. I would like, with the group that's here, to make a proposal that the TTC TTC riders.
That the TTC riders.
And drivers.
And drivers.
And all workers on the TTC.
And all workers on the TTC.
Stand together.
Stand together.
Against the cuts.
Against the cuts.
Because it affects their jobs.
Because it affects their jobs.
And it affects us getting to our jobs.
And it affects us getting to our jobs.
So, can I get consensus?
Can I get consensus?
If you're new to the system, show that you agree. By twinkling in the air. Mic check.
Mic check.
Are the people on that side of the platform agree that we should all stand together against cuts to the TTC because it's already getting too crowded. Charging us too much. They're cutting back our services. Making us angry. And we're misplacing our anger. We're getting angry at the workers. The workers are getting frustrated. And really, we're all being affected by the same thing. So please, use the people's might. By repeating after each other. And use the hand signals. This means I agree. This means I disagree. So once again, do you agree? Can somebody take notes? That the people of the young subway line, 413, are against any more fare increases and service decreases. Please twinkle if you agree. Are there any blocks to that proposal?
Show the
This is a block.
It means you disagree.
Mic check. So that's all. Say thank you to one another. And welcome to the start of OccupyTTC. Mic check. This is the people's mic.
The people's mic.